Alrighty guys, we're back for some stale cookies, and this is a Wilds of Eldraine standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link as well as that relatively new Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? Let's start by going over all the new cards, starting with Elvish Archivist. This is 2 mana, 0/1. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, you put 2+1/+1 counters on Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn, though. Okay, now it also has a bottom ability here, though. Whenever one or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Same thing, though. This ability triggers only once each turn. Seems like a really solid build around creature, and we have a ton of artifacts packed in, as well as some ways to get enchantments on the board too, so I think it's going to be terrific in here, man. So we got a couple tough cookies, which is a 2-mana 2/2 artifact creature. It's a food golem. When it ETBs, you get a food token. Nice, so 2 artifacts for the price of 1. You know I love that. Then it has a couple abilities here too. For 2 and a green, target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature until end of turn. Sweet, that could come in handy. And then for 2 mana, you can tap this, sacrifice Tough Cookie, and since it's a food, of course, you gain 3 life. Very cool artifact creature, man. I think it's going to do wonders in here. We also have 4 Welcome to Sweettooth, which is a 2 mana enchantment saga, and for the first chapter, you create a 1/1 human creature token. Cool. And for chapter 2, you create a food token. Nice. And for chapter 3, you put X+1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of foods you control. Honestly, dude, I think it's going to do a thing in here. I feel like you're getting a lot of value for just 2 mana, right? So, plus it's an enchantment, so it does work with that draw ability on the Archivist as well, which is awesome. And we might as well go over the other way to work with the draw ability on the Archivist here, right? So we have 4 Royal Treatments, which is our choice of protection for this build. So it's a 1 mana instant speed. Target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Then you create a Royal Roll token attached to that creature, and a Royal Roll token is an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Ward 1, which is pretty solid, dude. So since it's instant speed as well, this could be a great way to actually get an enchantment down on your opponent's turn to draw on your opponent's turn as well. For example, if you drew on your turn already off of like Welcome to Sweettooth or something. So that could be pretty cool, right? Some cards that I missed here in the 2-drop spot that's new is Sir Ginger the Meal Ender. There's a 2 mana legendary artifact creature. It's a food knight. It's a 3/1 as well, which is pretty good. Sir Ginger the Meal Ender has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker, which is nasty, dude. You know what we've been seeing a lot of recently? Liliana, man, and Sir Ginger could easily take care of Liliana, which is awesome. Whenever another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. Okay. And then the bottom ability, of course, is another food ability. So for 2 mana, you can tap this, sacrifice Sir Ginger. You gain life equal to its power. Nice. Just a really powerful creature, or at least it seems to be really powerful, right? More new cards, guys. This is actually a reprint. We got Gingerbrute in here, all 4 of them. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with haste, and for 1 mana, Gingerbrute can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. Nice. And it's got that food ability as well. 2 mana, tap it, sacrifice Gingerbrute. You gain 3 life. Very nice, guys. We got some new cards on the top end as well. Got all 3 Greta, Sweettooth, Scourge here. So it's a 3 mana 3/3. It's a legendary creature, and when it ETBs, you get that food token. For 1 green mana, you can sacrifice a food, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery, or you can pay 1 and a black, sacrifice a food. You draw a card and lose 1 life. So another way to keep our hand nice and stocked outside of the Elvish Archivist. Okay, final new card of the deck, I believe. This is Back for Seconds. Oh, outside of the land, but we'll go over the land in just a second. So Back for Seconds is a 3 mana sorcery speed. It has Bargain. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. If this spell was bargained, you may put one of those cards with mana value 4 or less onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your hand. Seems relatively decent, man. And when you bargain, it's you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast this spell, which is like everything in here pretty much, right? We have plenty of tokens, plenty of artifacts, and some enchantments that we could potentially sacrifice for this bargain ability, so you never know, huh? So what else do we have in here then? Well, we have a single Thran Spider here on the top end. Just another way to get an artifact, or 2 artifacts for the price of 1 once again, outside of the tough cookie. I love Thran Spider, man, and I've been packing it into a lot more of my artifact builds. I think the Power Stone in this deck in particular is actually going to do a lot too, since it can help us activate our food abilities and whatnot, so... we're not going to look at the bottom ability on Thran Spider. I don't think we activate it too often in this build, but yeah. Also, the reach, man. I know I keep bringing this up, but reach happens to be really important sometimes. So, yeah, don't forget it's a 2/4 with reach, which happens to be relatively decent, man. So we got Teething Wurmlet here on the top end too. It's a 1 mana 1/1, and it has Death Touch as long as you control 3 or more artifacts, which is going to be really easy in this build, I can only imagine. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Beautiful. If it was the first time this ability has resolved this turn, then you put a +1/+1 counter on Teething Wurmlet. Very, very solid, guys. To work with all the +1/+1 counters being thrown around, we have a single Ozolith, the Shattered Spire here. It's a 2 mana legendary artifact. It does have cycling for 2, so you may pay the cycling cost to discard this card and draw a card, which you never know when you actually end up doing that, right? But if 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on an artifact or creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead, so that could be sweet. Also has that bottom ability for 1 and a green. You can tap this, put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact or creature you control, activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, pretty sweet little card, guys. I think it's going to be worth the 1 of for sure. Got a couple Drown and Ichors as our choice spot removal. So it's sorcery speed, unfortunately, and it's -4/-4, which is good. And you get that Proliferate as well. With all these counters being thrown around, I do think the Proliferate's going to be sweet. And since we have some Sagas in here off the Welcome to Sweettooth, putting more counters onto the Saga and getting this ability a turn sooner could be awesome off that Proliferate. So just a reminder, though, this could be your choice spot removal. It could be like a couple Go for the Throats if you really want to. But I do think that Proliferate's going to come in handy more often than just like the, just how solid Go for the Throat is. You know what I mean? Okay, more older cards. We got a couple of Transmogrant Crown. This is a 2 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever equipped creature dies, draw a card, and the equip cost is 2 mana or a single black mana. So this could be really good with the food creatures, right? Because we could equip a food creature with this and then activate it for the food ability, gain some life, and then get the card draw off of the Transmogrant Crown. And maybe at that point too, maybe you have Sir Ginger on the board, and whenever you activate that food ability, this gets a +1 counter, and you get that scry too, so that could be really cool, right? I think it's going to be really solid to have a couple of these in here, and just more ways to keep our hand nice and stocked up, right? Okay, the mana base, guys. Got a bunch of dual land here, and oh, another new one, Restless Cottage. Restless Cottage enters the battlefield tapped, unfortunately. You can tap this down for Golgari colors, which is sweet, and for 2, a black and a green. Restless Cottage becomes a 4/4 black and green horror creature until end of turn. It's still a land, and then whenever Restless Cottage attacks, create a food token and exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Yeah, these Restless lands seem pretty powerful, huh? And I like that this is generating food tokens for us, so it really, really fits the theme in here nicely. Have a Mirrex as well. More ways to like mana fix the early game, but also generates artifact creatures for us when it comes time, right? Those Phyrexian Mites could really come in handy. Heavily leaning towards the green sources here because that's what the deck is leaning towards. And of course we got the Who Endures and the Abandoned Mire. Okay, no honorable mentions this time. I feel like there's a whole bunch of different ways we could have put this together, and the honorable mentions would probably be packed up to the 15 card sideboard limit, right? So yeah, just having nothing here. Let me know, what do you guys think deserves to be in the honorable mentions? Let me know in the comments, right? Either way, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. Let's go. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? So what am I expecting from the build? I have no idea. For yesterday's video, we played the Boros Aggro, the human celebration deck, right? And I kind of like, for that deck, I felt like it was going to be really good. For this one, I have no clue. It might be somewhere in the middle. Maybe we'll have like a 50-50 win rate. Rushland. Generous Visitor. Okay. The Leslie enchantments right out the gate here. we can successfully go Wastes, and I don't think they trade here, so I'm swinging with this Gingerbrute, and that's a really good trade for us, man. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think they trade. This is a lot of land, but we should be fine. There's not too much land packed in here. Actually, I forgot to go over the actual count of land. Crap, I don't even know right now. Oh, Mirrex. Eee. That's even more land, bro. That's not good news. I mean, at least Mirrex does a thing when it comes time. And at least we had a 1 and a 2 and a chance to just see more here off the top, right? Another 2-drop would be pretty good. A lot of 2-drops packed in. That way we can go Gingerbrute and the 2-drop on the same turn. Oh no! The opponent's missing the second land, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They still have an Audacity. Okay, I see why they kept this hand. I totally see. Like, this is good. You have so many 1-mana cards. Like, you know, for missing land 2 turns in a row, it's still a really solid lineup here, huh? Yep, I totally understand the keep. But yeah, it sucks that they're missing that mana. Okay, we can go a Deathcap Glade here, and then wait on the Mirrex for a turn. Greta's a good draw, I would say. Could also power up the food. Get a full swing. That's a relatively decent full swing, isn't it? You know what? Oh, don't accidentally sacrifice our tough cookie, man. Like, this is solid. This is 7 damage. There I was complaining like I wanted to get more in hand, but I don't know, like, actually swinging with the 4/4, maybe they even chump it. No, they take it down to 8. All right, let's see if they find that second mana off the top. Probably a pretty good chance of seeing it here. Uh-oh, it doesn't look like they found it. Is it Audacity number 2? Bro, I would have kept that hand too. For sure, dude. How solid is that? They're swinging for 10. Oh no, they're gonna keep a blocker back. That's right, that's right. Since we have 7 on the board, they can't swing with both. They are forced to keep that. So we could try to gain some life. At this rate, with that good blocker there, maybe we just get some blockers down instead, right? So we can successfully get Mirrex down without worrying. Teething Wurmlet first. Go back up to 10. This is a good blocker. And no swings for the turn. How do we feel about that, guys? Holding back for the turn? And then getting a nice wide swing next turn, especially if they miss their second mana again here, which would really suck. Because, oh, there it is, there it is. All right. Opponent's in this, dude, easily, which is wild to think about. Just 2 simple cards pairing together and being absolutely beastly. Okay, Jukai Naturalist, they get a couple more counters. They have the lifelink on the Naturalist. We're in trouble, dude. We're in trouble. We really, really are. Oh, they don't swing. We were going to be forced to block, and they had Naturalist to block there, too, so I thought it was going to be a swing to where we were going to be forced to block, but I guess, like, the Death Touch on the Wurmlet was decent. Thran Spider. Gain some life here. Yeah, now that they got their second, probably in trouble. Sacrifice, activate only as a sorcery. If we can get 4 through. Okay, hold on. Okay. Maybe. I apologize, opponent, I'm thinking. Because if we full swing, we have to make sure we don't die from the trample on all this, right? So, I don't know if that's necessarily possible. Maybe it's like Greta ability. Target the Gingerbrute. It's too bad I'm not powering up one of these artifacts with the tough cookie, right? None of those have haste, so we'll activate Gingerbrute ability. Or do we want to get second Gingerbrute down? 1, 2, 3. They have great blockers. And we don't. This is 5. They could take it down to 1. They find removal next turn, which they probably do since everything's cheaper because of the Naturalist. Guys, that's a really tough decision, dude. I was thinking about that full swing, but they have great blockers, man. These are 6/5s. They missed their second mana for so many turns in a row. They're going down to 1, which probably means they're going to bank on winning this turn. So removal, like land ossification into like ossification number 2, or one of their 3-drop exile removals as well. It might just be 2 ossifications here without the land. They want to get rid of Thran Spider and the Greta, and then full swing. Dude, Selesnya enchantments still looking absolutely disgusting, man. They had 1 mana for how many turns? What a keepable hand, dude. First of all, like, props to the opponent for keeping that hand. Just like, well, I got 1 mana and 4 1-drops. I can do this, right? Okay, they're going onto the Naturalist for some life gain here. Yeah, I think we're actually gonna die this turn. I do. It looks like it is gonna be ossification number 2 as well. Or maybe it's like Audacity onto the Naturalist, and that having trample 2, that would be what? 16 trample damage plus the counters from the Visitor as well. So 18 trample damage that we'd have to deal with. We do have enough toughness, though. They pass it! Guys! What does it mean? What does it mean, guys? So we just do Gingerbrute a couple times here. We can use the Power Stone. Activate Gingerbrute ability. Is it going to be... I mean, we could also activate this and sacrifice the food here. Also could have done Tough Cookie, but that doesn't seem... GG opponent, GG. I was playing it out. I don't know like what that last mana could have been, dude. I was playing it all out just in case, because so if it was, hold up, if it was like Tamiyo safekeeping, they would have gained 2 back up to 3. So actually then at that point, using the... No, we had 4 off the 2 Gingerbrutes anyways. So if they were going back up to 3, I was thinking like, oh, we should get one of the Gingerbrutes to 3. So if we used Greta sacrifice Tough Cookie to buff a Gingerbrute, yeah, I'd say we got a little lucky there, man. If they would have found their mana a little bit earlier, they would have run away with that game way sooner, and way too fast for us to deal with it. Even though I feel like we were drawing relatively well, we did end up drawing a lot of land, or seeing a lot more land than I would have hoped for that game, so... Oh, I forgot to check how much land I actually have in here. I gotta double check that after this game, if I remember, by some miracle, right? Okay, right. Yes, I like it. Opponent goes first, unfortunately, but this is good. Do I start with the Glade to guarantee a 2-drop, or do I start with Wurmlet and not worry about getting the 2-drop and just keep the Royal Treatment open for turn 2? There's also a chance that we see an untapped land too, so I like Wurmlet for the turn. Even though a Play with Fire could easily pick it up, huh? Maybe I should have waited. Play with Fire. Womp womp. Well, now if we don't see the mana, we don't have the Royal Treatment open for anything because we don't have anything on the board. Yeah, I guess a turn 2 Wurmlet wouldn't have done anything here realistically anyways, right? Because, no, we would have had the open mana for the Royal Treatment then. What am I saying? Yeah, so that ended up not working out for me at all. Just the order that I ended up playing that. Okay. Well. Everything's going to get picked up by spot removal here. I think I like starting with the Welcome to Sweettooth just to get the ball rolling on the Saga. Seeing a mana off the top would be huge for us because just like keeping a Royal Treatment open against mono red is essential, right? Which is why the order that I played these was pretty silly of me, honestly. I'll take the 3 this time. Keeping the human back for a better chump blocker on Swift Spear, like after Swift Spear is actually buffed up, seems a little bit better. Also, just in case we end up losing some of our creatures next time, we want our Chapter 3 to actually target something when it comes time too, so. There's mana. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, because now we can keep the royal treatment open. Get our food down, because more food on the board means more +1 counters. So maybe I won't get punished for the order that I played that early game out. There's a small chance here, guys. Keep a chump blocker back, or go for the swing. A braid. This is probably worth doing right now, right? Because it gets that ward as well. And at that point, chump blocker, yes. I'm not swinging. We know how ridiculously explosive mono red can be, so we do have to hold back for now. Swift Spear. Play with fire, pay the 1. Wow. Wow, okay. So now we won't get any +1 counters if we end up blocking here, guys. But if we don't end up blocking, we could take 5 or 7. I suppose we take 7 just for the sake of our Saga actually landing. But then we're in trouble, and the Forge is just getting bigger and bigger, dude, so I don't know, man. 3/3 is good. 3/3 is excellent. Could go back for seconds and get one of these back on the board and the other into our hand, but then we won't have open mana for the royal treatment. We could go Gingerbrute, keep both royal treatments open. This is going to be a 4/4 trample, dude. I like the back for seconds. It is sorcery speed. Bargain. Choose 2, right? And then we can sacrifice our food. Pretty cool. Actually, maybe we should have just like gained life off of the food, right? So put 1 onto the field, 1 into hand. Sir Ginger blocks into. Okay, first of all, that goes onto the field. Yeah, that blocks into a buffed up Swift Spear pretty well. And either one gets picked up by more spot removal, so it is what it is. And we're probably going to have to take the 4 from the Forge. Right now, we're just trying to set up to make sure we can block these Swift Spears successfully, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Seems like it's going to be a tough uphill battle. All right. See, like anything from their hand could get these Swift Spears above these creatures, so let's see it, opponent. Let's double check here. They've played 2 Play with Fires and an Abrade, so no Lightning Strikes have been played yet. They could go Lightning Strike face. I mean, just like 2 burn spells to face would do it. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. New Monstrous Rage card on the Swift Spear that was blocked by the Sir Ginger would do it. would be awful. Okay. That last mountain isn't anything. Nice. We took out a Swift Spear. We're down to 4. But that Forge is going to win them the game, right? I don't know if we get past that Forge. Greta. Go Gingerbrute. Block on their turn. Block the Swift Spear. Gain 3 back up to 7. If we don't get the block in and they get the... We go Wurmlet, go back up to 5 if we play like Crown. The problem is we can't play too many things here. I apologize, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. We go Wurmlet, Gingerbrute. We'll have Royal Treatment open. I don't know if it matters too much, guys. They still have 2 cards in hand. So like we go back up to 5 here. We have Royal Treatment available. No attacks. We have a couple blockers, but like the trample on the Forge is probably going to get them there anyways. We could go Royal Treatment on Wurmlet, block the Forge token, but I'd rather get that Swift Spear off the board, you know? The double Abrades, they must be running into artifacts, man. Yeah, 5-1. Forge proving its worth over there, dude. Holy cow. So we have to block regardless, right? So depends what they have in hand. I'm gonna just block like this, take 4, and if they have the burn, they have the burn, you know? And if they have something to buff the Swift Spear, maybe we can get the Wurmlet above it with the Royal Treatment as well. But it's most likely burn. Oh yeah, it's going to be a Lightning Strike, so there's not a lot we can do about that, even if we put the +1 on the Gingerbrute. We're just playing the Royal Treatment for the sake of playing it. Hey, good game opponent, man. Woo, uphill battle. I don't know if we would have had a way around that one. Maybe if we saw more land, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't complain too much about how the mana base has been so far. Like, that first game, it felt like we had too much. That game, it felt like we had too little. But, like, overall, it's not like we were sitting at 2 mana that game. You know what I mean? Like, the 3 was totally fine. Real quick, guys, I'm just double-checking here because I forgot to. Yeah, 22 total land. It should be enough. Yes, yes. And so the slight flood in that beginning game was probably an unlikely thing to happen. 22 makes sense. I see why I have 22 in here. Okay, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Is it going to be 4 Lilianas? Okay, good hand, right? We go first. I think this is solid. Wait, we might... Okay, never mind, never mind. We have 2 untapped land here. Okay, good. If this was the tap land, then we would start with that and go for the turn 2 Wurmlet. That way we could have the Royal Treatment open. That way I don't make the same mistake that I made last game. And Wurmlet before our artifacts is obviously going to be the go-to. Oh, opponent, are you there, bud? Oh, there you are. Hi, opponent. Teething Wurmlet. Tough Cookie could be good. But it might just be Gingerbrute, keep the Royal Treatment open. I'm down for that. I'm down for Gingerbrute Royal Treatment open. Based on the colors that they've played there. Swinging for 3, not bad. Yeah, Rafine's Tower is a spot removal land. You know what I mean? Cooped up, enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Then for 3 mana, they can exile it. Seems relatively decent. I overlooked this aura, guys. For only 3 mana, you can exile that creature? Huh. I like that. So let's go with the Thran Spider, right? And we do this before combat. Tough Cookie's going to be pretty good next turn. With all this extra mana, we might be able to power up that Power Stone token. Wurmlet having that ward 1 is sick, dude. They have to pay that extra too. They need disruption. Okay, I mean, it takes Wurmlet out of the combat. And then we can... Wait a minute. What are you doing? What are you... you know what? I don't know. I don't know what it's thinking there. We want to keep the 3 mana open. Oh! It don't matter, actually. For some reason, I was thinking we had 1 extra mana here, but no, we don't. Because if we did this, target non-creature artifact. Oh, but we have the food token. Oh, wait. The food token will have... Food token will have Summoning Sickness, right? I think so. I'm going to do it just for... No, never mind. I'm pretty sure it's going to have Summoning Sickness, right? I think so. Oh no, hopefully we're not missing 4 damage there. Board wipe style deck? It sure is. But we're going for it, man. We're going for it. Let's see that board wipe, man. It'd be a depopulate, if anything. Yeah, we're going to do our best to just go for the victory here. Realmbreaker's Grasp. This is an interesting build, opponent. So they're stopping a lot of swings here. Ozolith is pretty decent. We can't activate the abilities because of the Realmbreaker's Grasp, but luckily we have this one here. So we can successfully... Oh! We can successfully power up a food token for the turn. And then full swing, right? That's what, 8 damage. Not quite there. Wait! Am I miscounting? Oh yeah, my Gingerbrute is a 1/1 too. Yeah, what am I doing, dude? I feel like I've been doing that all day. No, that's 9 damage. GG opponent. Wow. No spot removal, no go for the throat. The opponent only played like these aura cards, which is super interesting, man. I don't entirely know what they were doing, but I can only imagine it's like an enchantment control style deck. We got to see how like tough Cookie can actually be, man. Being able to swing in with one of these other artifacts that we're generating is actually really sweet. You guys will have to let me know in the comments, would that first food token, if we would have powered it up into a creature, it would have had summoning sickness, right? I'm pretty sure, because it just entered. I don't think it would have been getting around that summoning sickness or anything. It doesn't say like 4/4 it gains haste or anything like that either, so. Ozolith, yeah, for that turn, I don't think it would have been Ozolith either. It was definitely just power up the food and hope they didn't have removal. Okay, yeah, enough rambling. Let's get into the next game, huh? Sweet. The opponent was obviously doing something fun there. I would have loved to see more of their build. I'm imagining like enchantment control. And so maybe like a Zur deck, right? I think that's the name of that card. Zur we don't get to see too often at all. Oh no, guys, no black source and 2 cards in hand that require it. Everything else is good though. I'm gonna give it a shot. Lots of land in here, lots of ways to get that black source. Outside of that, like just a really good couple of turns here too, with the Wurmlet on 1 and then a turn 2 welcome to Sweettooth. Oh, cut down. Duress! Opponent, not my Sweettooth. Not my Sweettooth. Royal Treatment would be a good grab too, honestly, depending on what's in their hand, right? Because the Royal Treatment could stop a lot, but the Sweettooth has given us so much throughout, yeah, the next 3 turns. And since we don't have a black source, yeah, Forest, uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. That Duress doing a number on us. At least we have the Royal Treatment open, but they know we have it open, so... Come on. Ooh, okay. Gingerbrute, go, 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 go. Yeah, realistically, as far as like a Golgari deck goes, we're really just splashing that black for a few cards. So hopefully we'll be able to play out as much as possible without worrying about seeing that black mana. And when we do see it, then it'll be good. It'll be good news, right? This also could have easily been a mulligan hand, but you guys know me. I like to test the boundaries of the deck. Test the limitations, right? So I can only imagine this is like them setting up for something else next turn, right? Going spot removal on it a second time here. And then they have the 3 so they can pay the ward cost. That's what I'm imagining that they're doing to the Wurmlet for the turn. Oh, yeah, they just keep the 2 open, so Wurmlet might actually be safe here. Get rid of the Drown and Ichor. Ulfber, wow, I guess the black mana doesn't matter, huh? We didn't even need it. Hey, welcome to Sweettooth, let's go. No reason to play that before combat, by the way, guys, so I just got excited to play a card. Swing for 4. Let's see it, opponent. I'm kind of afraid of like a board wipe or something, like a path trespasser. Ooh. Okay. Wurmlet's gonna get over Trespasser. Gingerbrute can go unblockable. They're not gaining life here because there's no creatures to pick up yet. Hey, there's our black mana, guys. Deathcap Glade off the top. We don't necessarily need it right now, but it's nice to have. Nice to have out there now. Okay. We have the open food. We don't need to gain life right now, so we're just going to keep it as an artifact. And welcome to Sweettooth. Could block that Gingerbrute really well. I'm feeling good here, guys. Yeah, they need... Okay. Liliana. So we ditch the 1/1. They can swing with Glutton, but it's going to be better to block the Wurmlet. Sacrifices a creature. Okay. Ditch our 1/1. Yep, they're going to block the Wurmlet, and then We have 2 food, so Gingerbrute's getting 2 counters. GG opponent, really? All we saw was land off the top there. I don't know, that really could have gone either way, guys. Realistically, dude? Like, I know this was going to be a trade. Maybe they thought we were just going to swing at Liliana, take care of that. I was going to go face. Because they couldn't -2 this next turn. They were going to +1. Going to play the land. They trade here, right? And then 3 was going to get through because this was about to get 2 +1/+1 counters. Maybe their main removal was the Go for the Throat and they didn't have an answer for a Gingerbrute at all. Maybe they literally had 0 answers in the deck for Gingerbrute, so it was only a matter of turns, right? That could have been the concede. How far are we, guys? We're 35 minutes in. Definitely going to go one more. I feel like we're getting a little lucky in some of these games, but I also feel like the deck is more capable of what it's doing right now. I feel like we're not really popping off like it should be. Maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it's like, you know, it might be a janky way to put together Golgari, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's supposed to be doing a little bit more. Well, this is not keepable. Nope. Nope. If we had 2 mana in hand, I would try this, but no. Even if it was... Okay. Okay, much better, right? Keep 6. Big question, guys. Do we send a land? And if we send a land, what land? I guess the Who and Dares? No, we should keep it. We should keep it and ditch the back for seconds. Yeah, just in case, guys, since it's only 22 land in the deck, if we had 23 or 24, maybe I would ditch the land, but I don't know. There were a few of those games where having more mana would have been excellent, so... Hopeless Nightmare. Discard a card. No, I don't want to. That's really bad. That's really bad. Since we had to mulligan for the turn too. Like, we had to ditch a land and then immediately discard a card. Gonna go into that Elvish Archivist and hopefully draw a card when it comes time for the Welcome to Sweettooth. Ah, another one. Oh no, guys. I'm gonna ditch the Ozolith. That's really bad. Dude, I thought it was gonna be a third one. I was sweating for a second. So, Hopeless Nightmare enters the battlefield. Each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. And then when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you scry 2. Then for 2 and a black, you can sacrifice Hopeless Nightmare. Seems like a relatively decent card, dude. Rockin' enchantments, rockin' artifacts. I like it, opponent. I like it. I am terrified that you're going to have me discard more here, but I'm going to try to draw off of the Archivist and, you know, cut downs, go for the throats. All the basic spot removal could easily be in the opponent's deck, so... I don't know, man. I don't know. This is going to be tricky. 3rd mana. Lord Skitter, Sewer King. Beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1. Okay, yep. Exile 1 target card from an opponent's graveyard. Okay. Alright, we're just going to go for the draw on the Welcome to Sweettooth. Maybe we draw a land and play Gingerbrute, right? Nope, no land this time round. So see, like, discarding that Who Endures earlier could be holding us back a lot right now, so... We'll see, we'll see. And maybe in the final thoughts we have to talk about 23 land, right? Going up 1 land could do a thing for the build. And right now, Transmogrant Crown has been a little bit hard to get down on the board too. So maybe like dropping a crown and going up 1 land, it could do a lot actually. If this was a land, that would be a much better turn. Oh no, that's the 3rd one, bro. All right, we should ditch the crown, right? I think, I don't know. Crown could help us draw when it comes time. Okay, I'm gonna keep the crown just for the sake of maybe restocking our hand well in the mid game, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Because if we don't see land off the top again next turn, we also have no food on the board, so Welcome to Sweettooth is doing nothing this turn. Oh, no, we're about to get the food. My bad. I'm thinking a turn ahead here. Okay. We will go ahead, take the 1. Down to 13. Here's the food token. Okay, there's the 2 counters. Beautiful. We drew a land as well, which is excellent news, guys. We go Greta, that's more food. We could go Crown. Brute. That's more food with the Brute, too. We go Crown Equip, that could be fine. There's a lot to think about here. I'm gonna go Greta for the sake of blocking really well. Right? I think that's fine. And then we probably plug counters into the Greta if it's not spot removal. Opponent playing with a bunch of new cards, you love to see it. Raids, okay. More rats. It's a rat swarm, guys, no! All from 1 card, too. They can start sacrificing those. We're gonna decline. Take 2 down to 11. Oh, dude, Braids is perfect in this one. I bet this is just a Braids build, honestly. Bro, I mean, think about it. With the Hopeless Nightmare and everything, that's really cool, opponent. Couple counters. Oh, it's 3 counters because it's +1 for the number of food. So, yeah. Triple counters on that seems decent. Another Greta, not the greatest, but not the worst, right? Transmogrant Crown, that buffs the Archivist, and we can probably start getting some swings in here, man, right? And if they end up... I mean, we're also getting really low, so when do we actually want to risk the swings? Yeah, what the heck, let's go for it, man. Last game of the evening, I'm risking it. We could easily die next turn, because they have 9 on the board. They could spot remove the 1/1. But, like, also, just cool swing. I like it. We're risking it for the last game. Also, yeah, I feel like the lineups haven't been the best, and I think that is because I'm not playing with enough mana, so definitely in the final thoughts, we have to talk about 23 land. And I think 23 might be perfect then. Oh, they are going to go for the double block on the Archivist, which is good news for us. That means we probably don't die next turn. Taking out both of these is so good. That's so good, man. I wonder what they end up having. And then Crown draws us a card, too. Treatment, okay. Royal Treatment. So maybe it's spot removal for the Greta. They can start swinging with these rats, play Braids number 2, right? So whatever they ended up having, it must not have been enough to have lethal damage next turn. Actually, if they swung with 9 and activated Braids on an enchantment, we didn't have an enchantment on the board. So the Braids would have done 2 damage to us. So that would have been 11. I'm just now realizing they had lethal on the board, right? Right? I might be missing something. Yeah, since we don't have any enchantments. Beseech the Mire. Oh, I wonder what they hit with this. They're gonna bargain out a 4-drop. What would be best for them? Probably just like a Shieldred or something. Yeah, so that swing was really risky. Oh, and that's only if they had removal for the 1-drop too, by the way. The 1/1, the 1/1. Oh, go for the throw on Greta off the Beseech the Mire. Oh, cool. So that's another thing, right? They might not have had the spot removal there. We're going to take the 3. Ow. Okay. More land. Not bad. Not bad at all. We're going to play it. Greta, you got to remember we can gain life off of these too if we need to. But I don't think we're going to be taking 8 damage next turn, though. It's possible, but I don't think so. Greta, keep the roll. No, the royal treatment open. Or Greta, activate Transmogrant Crown for a swing. I don't mind that either. I don't think we die next turn, guys. We're going for damage. We're going for it, man. 11 to 8. It's a close match. Really cool mono blacklist from the opponent. Really cool. Yeah, I don't think keeping the royal treatment open there was going to be the best option. Anyone's game, but it kind of feels like it's leaning towards the opponent. Oh no, we know how nasty this card can be, dude. Oh no. Going for the 2. Blocking for sure. Down to 6. Okay. Ashiok's at 3. Beginning of combat. So if they go plus here, look at the top 2 cards, and they exile, then their nightmares get buffed. Okay. So if we start with the Archivist here, right? We go Gingerbrute. This gets counters. And activate the Gingerbrute ability. We could full swing at the Ashiok. However, I just need to get it to where the -2 would actually kill them, right? So that way they are forced to do the +1. They could block there, but it's a chump. And then if they block here going to face, we draw. And then at least the nightmares are gone. How do you guys feel about that? That seems like a good lineup of a... That seems like a decent swing. They can't block the Gingerbrute, so they might just take the 1. Nope. They are going to do that trade. We get a draw. And then the Ashiok can go -2. So worst case scenario, dude, second Ashiok is in their hand, right? That would be disgusting. Okay, down to 2. Draw a card. Nice, dude. Beautiful. Okay, royal treatment. Still anyone's game. What a wild match so far. Beautiful. Get that draw off the Archivist too. Oh, could be double removal. It could be. This is instant speed as well though. Rotten Reunion, so that could be what's holding them. Or this too, right? Gingerbrute. Beautiful. They go plus on the Ashiok to make sure they don't lose it here. Put the other into your hand. So they didn't go the -2. The rats can't block. Well, that can block. Jeez, man. That's gonna kill us if we don't win. So we have to consider just powering up these food tokens. Go for the swing. We'll go for the block for sure. Down to 5. Wurmlet. That gains us some life too. So Wurmlet, Gingerbrute. We still have enough to power up the other Gingerbrute. The Archivist getting a boost here as well. We could power up both Gingerbrutes. Going a little bit wide here, honestly. Power up one Gingerbrute and then activate a food is probably like the best thing we could do for the turn, right? Had this ability as well. We also had the crown if we wanted to. If they block here, it's a really good block for them, right? So we go 1 here, 2, let the Ashiok die, make the Archfiend block here, and then get 1 through to face. Is that even worth it? It doesn't feel like it's worth it, huh? If they block the Greta, then Ashiok survives, and then we get 6 through to face. I think we gotta risk it again, dude. Dude, I'll tell you what, it's all or nothing, I think. So let's go for it. Yeah, they do go for that block and let the Ashiok die. We're only getting 1 through to their face, and that's a really, really good block for them. So, down to 10. Oh, we're close to death, man. We are very, very close to death. If we lose any of these creatures, it's over. So their top deck definitely matters here. Tenacious Underdog blitzing it out. That's game. Oh no, wait, no, we can block. No, it's game, because we go up to 7. And then we block the Underdog. And then 7 gets through because of the Archfiend. Dude, opponent, sweet deck, man. Good game. Good game. That was a tough uphill battle, dude. I don't know what exactly I could have done differently there, right? That's one that I'd have to go back and rewatch. So overall, well, hold on. Before I talk about the build, let's actually bring the build onto the screen, right? I definitely have a thing or two to say about this one. Okay, decks, and we go stale cookies. Here's the deck list again, guys. I feel like overall it didn't really draw terrifically. That being said, a lot of really cool synergies. I think this Elvish Archivist is actually really good and definitely worth the build around here. Tough Cookie seemed really solid. I like the Welcome to Sweettooth. It did a little bit less than I wanted it to, but it definitely did a thing today. Royal Treatment is as good as it was in the early access. I think it's very solid, especially getting that enchantment out of the deal as well. Cool, cool. Wurmlet has a huge target on its back. Gingerbrute, same concept. We have a lot of just great cards packed in here, man. Didn't get to see Drown and Ichor do a thing today, but I still like the Proliferate on it. Thran Spider's fine. I like the 3 Gretas, but I could easily see going down to 2. And I could also easily see going down to 1 of the back for seconds. And then what would I go up? Just more ways to help us finish up a game. Maybe even like a couple Sheoldred on the top end. Why? Because it's Sheoldred, dude. Could also see just adding a couple more pieces of spot removal as well. A couple cut downs could do a thing here and there. You know, a couple cut downs in that last match, or just any spot removal in that last match would have been really good for us. A couple more go for the throats, taking out that Archfiend out of the air would have been excellent to say the least, right? Now, all that being said, I feel like 22 mana held us up often, and that's because we have a lot to do all the time on every turn and a lot of things to plug that mana into as well. So going up to 23 is going to be helpful. So I would drop it back for seconds. I would drop a Greta down. I really like Greta though as a 3 of. I could still see the 2. And the back for seconds doesn't really seem necessary at all. It's kind of like one of those cards. I feel like I had to at least try it out to see. And it's definitely going to do a thing here or there, but maybe we just need to continuously focus on the aggro side of this deck and just find more. Or again, just more spot removal would probably be better in this spot instead. So, all right, let's drop a Greta and potentially 1 to 2 back for seconds. And then with one of those spots, we add our 23rd mana. And we don't want it to be another tapped mana. I think the 2 Restless Cottage is completely fine. At that point, since we're dropping 1 or 2 back to seconds and a Greta, which also needs a black source in the hand as well, then we're really splashing that black source even further. And so we probably just go up like another forest or something, right? I could see a second Mirrex as well, but there are going to be some games where you see both Mirrex and then it goes into the late game and you're having trouble actually casting out some of your cards because, you know, it only adds 1 mana of any color for that turn. So, although I could easily see that second Mirrex instead of like another forest, and it is great mana fixing too. Great way to get us more artifact creatures. So, and then with whatever's remaining, it's either you opt for more ways to like help you close up the game, like a Sheoldred on the top end or 2, or just more spot removal, I would say. Go for the throats or cut downs would be ideal, or maybe the Proliferate on the Drown and Ichor is really working out for you, so then you could go up to 3 or 4 of those as well, but that depends, right? It depends what you're seeing, because -4/-4 doesn't hit everything, and at sorcery speed, it's really hard to actually use this as a combat trick, so yeah. Either way, guys, that's the list. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a fun time. It's just, it's really fun playing with all these super thematic cards, dude. Eldraine is awesome, so yeah, guys, either way, hey, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions for real. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.